All right, class in session, chapter 46. Chapter 46 is mirror her emotions. And this is one where, if you gimmick your way into a relationship, and we say don't use gimmicks, learn game, become the person, live an abundant life, live authentically, be a strong man, have strong emotional control, be physically strong, have courage, be respected by other men, have skills, but also be out there doing stuff, being busy, chasing the bag, if you want to say, or just, doing things that are positive for your own life, right? And when a woman pulls away, you got too much going on to worry about that, or you're too confident, you respect yourself too much to worry about that, and that way, you won't be insecure. If you are insecure about something, hit it head on. Why am I insecure about this? What causes insecurity? Whatever. Be honest with yourself. My ego suffers here. My ego's weak here. My insecurity's here. Whatever. If someone calls you short, are you insecure about that? We'll deal with that. Whatever. I mean, that's what, a lot of guys want to use money, to get girls, but, because it's hard to, kind of deal with those problems, those personal problems, and overcome them. You got it, because you got to, be honest with yourself, and that's not easy. All right. Sex relieves tension. Love causes it. Woody Allen. Any man who has been in a serious relationship knows that women pull away and create problems for no reason. When this happens, the man's instinct is to wonder why it's his girlfriend or wife has acted this way. Sometimes there are legitimate reasons for a woman to act this way. Other times there is no logical explanation for a female's predisposition for emotional instability. You have to do something to upset her. No. You don't have to, because, like I said, women have a predisposition to be emotionally unstable. So you sometimes think, I've had to do something to upset her. No, perhaps she woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or perhaps she is testing you. See how you will respond. Whatever the reason, the important thing a woman wants to know, and this is important, are you strong enough to handle her emotions or not? Absolutely. And like I've said before, and you've heard me say this, one of the things women hate the most is a man who's emotionally unstable, a man who flies off the handle over nothing. If she can get you going, if she can get you angry about nothing, and they do this a lot of times, on the apps. I'm telling you this, if anyone's still on those, they do that all the time, and they'll say some BS, and they know that 10 other guys they've talked to that week or that day have gotten mad over this. If you become the man that's like, you don't take disrespect, but you're just, you also don't, you can simply say, if they get disrespectful, just say, oh, okay, well, we're not aligned, so, hey, good luck to you, it was nice meeting you. You haven't shown any emotion, but you've exited the situation, you called her out, whatever, or I don't get down like that, but hey, good luck to you, you don't argue, you don't attack, Anyway, case 33, fight fire with fire. So in the case study 33, they got Gretchen and Neil, and Gretchen is like telling Neil, she's in a bad mood, and Neil's her boyfriend, and he's like, what's wrong? What's going on? What's going on, Gretchen? And her name's Gretchen. And so, and he's like, how you been this week? You said you were getting into that health kick. And she's like, yeah, I'm getting healthy. I'm doing yoga and Pilates. I'm gonna try Pilates next week. He's like, oh yeah, cool, He's like, you are Miss Healthy Woman. And then she's like, why you keep talking about my health? And she just wants to be mad, And he's like, because you mentioned it, jeez, And he's like, is there something I can do? What did I do to pitch it? And she's like, no, you didn't do anything. Don't worry about it. He's like, well, you don't have to be rude, but just tell me, let's go talk about it, and he's taking her hand and, let's walk over here, open up to me. And she's like, no, man, she's just being a bitch, And so then she does it to a guy named Sam, and Sam's got a lot going on. He's a busy guy. And so, they're just showing the juxtaposition of the two, right? And Sam notices that Gretchen's like has a bad attitude. And like they go to, I think they're going to eat breakfast or something together, and she's just got this bad attitude. And he like takes his like plate that they just like gave him his plate, and he's like, "Hey, here's the tab. Make sure you pay it when you leave." And he just walks off. He's like, "I'll see you later," because he just knew she was upset, and he's like, "Can't do nothing about it. You can just go ahead and screw yourself." You know what I'm saying? He's like, "I'm out. I'm not trying to cheer you up today. I'm not trying to ask you why." He mirrored her emotions with his own attitude. And he didn't call her. He didn't. And after about a week, and this, I guess they were in a new relationship, and she's like, she started feeling bad. She's like, "I'm sorry for what I did." Because as a moral person, as a man of integrity, as a man with character, you probably didn't do anything. You probably acting right, right? And so if you act too concerned when she's pulling away and being just a bitch, then she's gonna see you as weak because now she sees she can control you, But if you stay centered and like, "Hey, I don't deserve this type of treatment," but you can be respectful, and say, "Hey, I'm out of here. I'm not gonna deal with this," and you're honest because as a man, especially as now that I'm 50, it's like I got stuff to do. Life ain't forever. And I ain't gonna sit here and waste my time being upset because you're upset. You can go ahead and be upset, and I mean it now. Like, because my happiness and my fulfillment in life is way more important than anybody else's. It's not a selfishness. It's just no one else is gonna look after me. I mean, I've been single and no kids my whole life, and you understand when things go down, it's me and it's me. And so. And I don't lean on my parents. I can't. I don't have parents to lean on. You know what I'm saying? So, when you don't have anyone to bail you out, you understand that your happiness is going to be more important than, and no one's coming, the whole no one's coming to save you. Well, I've been in a situation where no one's coming to save me. I have to have my own things done. Now, I got some good friends and stuff like that, but, they're not here to save me. So, all right, so let's keep going. When the woman realizes that she now has power over you and your emotions in this situation, any attempt to placate a woman and soothe her will be met with sharp resistance. Instead, you need to neutralize a woman by mirroring her emotions exactly. If she's upset, you be upset, and not like totally pissed off, but you ain't gonna basically, if you're pulling away, I'm pulling away. I ain't gonna sit here and do a dog and pony show like they call gesturing. I'm not gonna be your dance monkey to try to make you feel better, And this was just that King 68 guy, the guy who's 6'8" or whatever, goes to black guys stay at the clubs and stuff. Myron just did a thing on him. He had girls, being disrespectful, pulling away, not talking at his mansion. He's trying to argue with them. And see, just like this says, he's not mirroring their emotions. He's going at them. And when he went at them, they argued back with him. Exactly, because they don't respect you, and you're not mirroring their emotions. You're showing them that their bad behavior in your house is affecting you. Instead of saying, "Hey, look, your time here is done. Like in my mansion, your time here is done. You need to get out, please. Go get your stuff and get out." So, because they're pulling back, they're pulling their attention back. So now my attention is going to be pulled back, and you're going to be removed from it. So anyway, but you can't be, trying to, go after them as far as like be the one trying to fix something when they're pulling away. You have to pull away as well. Okay. When a woman runs away from you, you must also pull away. Exactly what I just said. When she becomes distant and withdrawn, you must also become distant and withdrawn. When she is acting rude and disrespectful and withdrawn, your attention and this prevents you from empowering her. Yes. So exactly when you're if you're giving her attention, if you're trying to fix it, now you've empowered her because she's leading. Because what I say by leading is she is causing you to do some type of behavior. If I'm controlling my behavior and saying, "Oh, she's withdrawn," oh, I'm withdrawn too. If she's gonna be bitchy, if she's gonna be disrespectful, whatever, then she's gonna be removed. All right. Imagine a, and this is kind of a good illustration. Imagine a piece of string binds you to the woman you desire. Every time the string pulls tight, there is sexual tension in the relationship. Similarly, when the string gets slack, uh, sexual tension dies and attraction fades. When attraction fades, and there is a loss of sexual interest, either you or the woman, preferably both, uh, need to bring preferably both, to bring sexual tension back into the relationship. When the woman pulls away or becomes emotional distant, most men soothe their anxiety trying to close the distance, thus uh, making the string go slack, thus killing the sexual tension in the process. When the woman pulls away, you must mirror her behavior in response. This pulls the string tight, bringing the sexual tension back into the relationship with force and vigor. Exactly. So if she pulls away and you run towards her and you had a string on you, the string would not be coming slack, you know? I mean, it would be coming slack. It wouldn't be tight, you know? If if she pulls away and you pull away, now you're both walking away with the string that's attached to you. Now the string goes tight. There's tension between y'all. And that tension is what tension creates sexual tension. Tension is sexual tension, you know? Um, because now she has to be worrisome and anxious for where you are. She knows she's pulled back, but if you run after her, she's like, "Oh, I got this guy. I can run this guy." So she doesn't have to have anxiety. And what we learned in prior chapters, women with anxiety, women with uncertainty, are more attracted to men. So you got to keep that tension in the relationship tight, and that's why I also say be careful of living with a woman, because that kills tension big time. You know, when she knows where you're at and she knows what you're doing. You know, yeah. That I'm just that I just kind of brought that up on my own, but dude, that's one of the relationship killers. That's one of mine. But anyway, that's all for this chapter. We'll see you on the next one.